Blood, fear, power. When we hear the name Dracula, most imagine a fanged vampire lurking in the night. But centuries before Bram Stoker's novel, there lived a man whose cruelty, brilliance, and iron will carved him into legend. A man so feared that his enemies whispered his name with trembling lips. Vlad the Impaler. Tonight, we unveil the man behind the myth. The Prince of Wallachia, the warrior of the Carpathians, the brutal ruler who inspired Dracula. Vlad III was born in 1431 in the fortress town of Sighisoara in Transylvania, then part of the Kingdom of Hungary. His father, Vlad II Dracula, was a member of the prestigious Order of the Dragon, a knightly order sworn to defend Christendom from the rising Ottoman Empire. It was from this order that the young prince gained his fearsome name, Dracula, meaning son of the dragons here. But destiny would twist that name into something darker, a Dracula. At the age of 11, Vlad and his younger brother Radu were taken hostage by the Ottoman Sultan Murad II. This was no act of kindness. It was political insurance, a way to control their father. In Edirne, the Ottoman capital, Vlad was exposed to both luxury and cruelty. He studied Turkish, mathematics, and the art of war. But he also learned fear. He saw impalements, floggings, and executions carried out without mercy. Where Radu grew soft and loyal to the Sultan, Vlad hardened. He absorbed the brutality around him, shaping it into a weapon he would one day unleash. Wallachia, Vlad's homeland, was a land of shifting loyalties. Caught between the Ottoman Empire to the south and the Kingdom of Hungary to the north, princes rose and fell quickly, often murdered by rivals or betrayed by their own nobles, the boyars. In 1447, Vlad's father was assassinated, and his elder brother Mircea was buried alive by boyars loyal to a rival claimant. For Vlad, this was no ordinary political struggle. It was personal vengeance. By 1456, at just 25 years old, Vlad seized the throne of Wallachia. And from the very beginning, he ruled not with kindness, but with terror. Vlad's most infamous weapon was the stake. Impalement was not just execution. It was psychological warfare. Victims were mounted on wooden spikes, their bodies left to writhe for hours, sometimes days before death claimed them. To his enemies, this was horror. To Vlad, it was order. In one campaign, he is said to have impaled over 20,000 Ottoman prisoners, creating what chroniclers called a forest of the impaled. When Sultan Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, marched on Wallachia with an army of 150,000, he encountered this grisly forest. The Sultan recoiled. His soldiers trembled. The invasion faltered. Vlad, the small prince of a small land, had turned fear itself into a weapon. But who was Vlad really? To his people, he was both tyrant and protector. The boyars who had betrayed his family were slaughtered, their families destroyed, their estates seized. Yet peasants praised him for defending Wallachia against foreign invaders and greedy nobles. Stories spread across Europe, some true, some exaggerated, dining among the impaled, dipping bread in the blood of his victims, executing thieves to maintain strict order. German pamphlets painted him as a sadistic monster. Romanian ballads, however, remembered him as a just ruler, a man who defended his homeland at all costs. Monster to some, hero to others. Vlad's reign was never secure. Betrayals plagued him, and his enemies, both Ottoman and Hungarian, plotted his downfall. In 1462, he was captured and imprisoned in Hungary for nearly 12 years. When released, he briefly reclaimed the throne of Wallachia. But his final reign lasted only a matter of months. In 1476, Vlad the Impaler was killed in battle against the Ottomans. His body was mutilated and his head sent to Constantinople as proof of his death. Yet, his legend did not die. His cruelty, his cunning, his bloody reign echoed across centuries, planting the seed for Bram Stoker's immortal vampire, Count Dracula. Vlad the Impaler was no vampire. He cast no shadow down, drank no blood in truth. But his reign bathed Wallachia in fear and fire. History remembers him as both a brutal tyrant and a defender of his land, and so the line between man and monster blurs. For sometimes, reality is darker than legend. This was Vlad the Impaler, the man behind Dracula.